Thought I went live a minute ago, but it says it failed to start. But it should be up now. Let's see. Maybe. Maybe it's now working. Seemingly. Oh, whoops. It's supposed to be on this camera, and this one's supposed to not be so dark. Huh. Let's get that adjusted. Maybe that'll do it for today. Guess like I was saying before it actually went live, we have big news at the end of the show today, so make sure you're sticking around for that. You won't want to miss it. I guess until then, make sure you guys are dropping a like, subscribing, following, turning on notifications. Let's see. Yeah, I'm making sure I have chats pulled up and stuff so I don't miss anything today. I wish this camera would just focus on me. Maybe. Let's see if we can do that. There we go, maybe. I see what's going on here. There we go, that might be it. That might be the one. Okay. My camera reset for some reason over the weekend. It's like I wasn't even doing anything on it. Now it is very blown out. There we go. Maybe now we're ready. Maybe now we're ready to jump into whatever news occurred this weekend. Mostly on the sports side of things, but we'll get into that in a minute. It's a little less prevalent, but it sure did feel special at the time. Sure did. There we go. So it's still a little bright. Let's see. Let's go there. See how that works. That looks better. That looks better. Alright, I think that's what we want. The mic in the middle. Today is Monday, June 15th, 2026. This is episode number 126 of Addressing the Issues. Hope everybody had a good weekend. I sure did. I definitely did. It was a very fun weekend for sports ball enjoyers, surely. Like I said, we'll hop into that at the end. Today begins the G7 summit, in France today. This is the group of 7, I guess, prevalent economies. I had it pulled up a minute ago, but there it is. Consists of Canada, France, Germany, Italy, Japan, the United Kingdom, and the United States. I can only assume that they'll be talking about energy during this conference, particularly price and supply. Probably talking about artificial intelligence, war funding, of course, because that's what they like to do. But yeah, that begins today, so we'll see what comes out of it. A lot of rather prevalent countries, prevalent economies from around the world. Yeah, I think they'll be talking about war, economics, energy particularly, what drives economics. Anything else, I guess, like I said, Ukraine, the war there, presumably not the war in Iran anymore, or maybe security features to ensure that the alleged planned ceasefire comes to fruition, or peace deal, whatever you want to call it. That is the big news from over the weekend, that a peace deal with Iran is set to be signed on Friday in Geneva, Switzerland, according to what I've seen. But you have two back-to-back posts about this time yesterday from President Donald Trump on Truth Social. Truth Social, sponsor the stream if you'd like. I'd really appreciate it. But the first one says, the deal with the Islamic Republic of Iran is now complete. Congratulations to all. I hereby fully authorize the toll-free opening of the Strait of Hormuz and simultaneously herewith authorize the immediate removal of the United States naval blockade. Ships of the world, start your engines, let the oil flow. President Donald J. Trump. Then, within an hour later or so, another post, once again from President Donald Trump on Truth Social. It says, this great deal will bring peace and security to the whole region. Many presidents have tried to make peace with Iran, and all have failed before me. The leaders of the region have, for the first time, found a president who can help them achieve real peace. With the opening of the strait upon signing of the deal on Friday for the purposes of mine removal, oil will flow on both ends again for the region and the world. President Donald J. Trump. That was a little bit of word salad, wasn't it? Let's see if he's posted anything today on this. Mostly what he's been posting today have been endorsements for Congress and other random positions, because that needs to be done. But yeah, so apparently there is a peace deal, a longer ceasefire, not really sure exactly what it is. I guess it's a peace deal to be signed Friday in Geneva, Switzerland. There are some people who have concerns about said deal that has been reached. There is talks of Iran being given $300 billion with this peace deal. It's been misreported that that would be from the United States. It's actually apparently going to be coming from Gulf countries, and it is not all guaranteed. Iran will have the opportunity to get $300 billion, but I guess that involves concessions reached with neighboring countries, which could be of use for long-lasting peace if they can make concessions and then pay for the rebuilding. I think possibly that could build some rapport between countries in the region. Rapport that is desperately needed in the Middle East. But it is not an instant $300 billion blank check. There is things that can be freed up, particularly $12 billion that is currently frozen in Qatar. That could be freed up instantly, allowing Iran to have access to that money for their rebuilding efforts. And it seems that part of this deal, or I guess what is left off from this deal, is the occupation of southern Lebanon. Apparently that no longer has any weight. Israel will continue to be allowed to invade southern Lebanon. So that seems to be no longer a red line for Iran. That was a big worry for a lot of people, that would continue to prolong this, but there's been strikes in Lebanon since the announcement of this, and it hasn't apparently scared any parties away yet. I have a few articles pulled up here, and I just want to make sure that I'm not missing anything important. I mean, nothing's really changed from the beginning of the war. Nothing really. The regime is still there. Possibly there will be concessions on nuclear weapons. That is to be agreed upon within the first 60 days after signing the deal. So, I mean, will that be agreed upon? Who knows at this point? One can be hopeful, obviously. But I mean, what is the result at the end of this? Well, the Strait of Hormuz will be demined and traffic will be allowed to flow through, and the Ayatollah's family is still in power. What was the case before the war started? Well, you were free to transit the Strait of Hormuz with no toll, and the Ayatollah's family was still in power. So, I mean, this was just a very costly establishment of the status quo, it seems. Spending, I don't even want to know how much. I mean, if you're considering that the air defense missiles cost $2 to $5 million a piece, and we shoot at least two at every incoming object, I can't imagine how much money we've spent on this. We spent many more American lives than I was comfortable with, especially for just maintaining the status quo. But I guess, on the bright side, at least it could be over at this point. At least it could be over. But it's not the $300 billion blank check, or cash as some people call it, to Iran. It's a little more complicated than that. Some of these are frozen assets. Some of these are, probably most of them are frozen assets. I'd imagine some of these will be, friendship deals. They say, oh, we'll give you this money to rebuild. Just don't attack us again. And I guess that makes sense with maintaining a peaceful Middle East. Now, how long does it last? Well, I don't know that this is a surefire, established peace. I think this is a patch on a wound, and it'll have to be maintained, and we'll see in the future if it holds. I think that's the only reasonable comment I can give on it, is we'll just have to see. I mean, we've been told peace deal, we've won the war. I mean, probably near the 100 marker now of times. So we'll have to see. We'll have to maintain it. Both sides will have to continue their side of the bargain, whether that be demining the Strait of Hormuz, or whether that be, I don't really know what we took as opposed, or other than the brunt of the cost of energy. I guess Americans' lives, that's another one. But I guess, like I said, it's good news. Peace is good. But yeah, I guess that's the gist of the Iran deal. There's not much that we know about what it contains, except for this, depending on who you listen to, $300 billion in cash, or $300 billion, up to $300 billion, of released assets, seized assets. So there's that. And then, let's see. Heard that the Dow was rallying today with the news. Let's see if we can pull it up. Well, it's up 0.92%, almost a whole percent, 468 points. So it didn't do bad today. Apparently there was a report of a new record at one point today, but it's since fallen off. Which, yeah. Big weekend, like I said. Apparently behind the scenes this is going on. And what is happening in the eyes of the American people, that's a big story as well. Lots of great sports events this weekend. Lots of great sporting events throughout the U.S. It started off Friday with the World Cup. The United States played Paraguay and defeated them 4-1. Absolutely beautiful scenes there. I hadn't watched soccer in a while. The production of that game, it felt like a movie almost. I mean, very well produced. The game was great. I mean, you had Marco Rubio sitting in the stands with the FIFA president and presumably, I would assume, the leader of Paraguay. But no, it was a fantastic game to watch. 4-1, obviously. Felt really good for U.S. soccer fans after being on the fringe for so long of international play. Now we have our chance on our home stage and we go out. The fans made it great. The players made it great. And it was a special moment. It was one of those moments that was like, America needed this. And then the weekend continues. You have the Knicks, who won the NBA Finals in 5 games versus the San Antonio Spurs. Chaos in New York City. Absolute chaos, but, you know, the people loved it. That's just what they're used to. They love chaos there. They actually try to bring chaos here in the winter, but they love it there in New York City. And they celebrate in the streets. I can't imagine how many people were arrested, but it looked like everybody was having fun. So I was wrong. I said Spurs in 7. It was Knicks in 5. And New York got their first championship in, I believe, 50 years, if I'm not mistaken. I mean, pretty big moment. And then you get to yesterday, which, if you didn't know, the Stanley Cup Finals actually were taking place at the same time as UFC Freedom 250. This is the one I actually got right. I said Canes in 6 before this series began, and your Carolina Hurricanes won the Stanley Cup Final in 6 games. The first time in 20 years. The oldest Conn Smythe winner with the captain, Jordan Staal. He was 37 and some change, the oldest since the 80s. I mean, it was a historic finals. I mean, both of them, honestly. Both finals, NBA and Stanley Cup, were historic this year. And, I mean, it was a good show. At least I enjoyed it. 63 people arrested after the Knicks win. Chaos in New York City, but they loved it. They had waited so long for this, and they finally get it. It doesn't change the fact that Zoran Mondani is still their mayor, but, you know, maybe it eases the pain a little bit, so we're thankful for that. And then North Carolina, Raleigh apparently was chaos as well. They probably should have greased the lamp posts. Likewise in New York City. Didn't happen in either, and people climbed lamp posts. So it's, I mean, everybody's having fun. And then UFC Freedom 250, which was honestly another fantastic event held on President Trump's birthday. Happy birthday. Happy belated birthday, President Trump. I guess I hope 80 treats you well. And then, yeah, I mean, fantastic production. I was a little bit like, how can you make this look good in 2 weeks on the south lawn of the White House? How can you have like a spirited crowd when it's in such a highly secure setting? Well, all those questions were answered. I mean, absolutely spectacular card. The production value, once again, tremendous. Having them walk out from different parts of the White House. It was almost like I got my own, like, what is that? HGTV home tour of the White House with every walkout. I mean, saw parts of the White House I don't think anybody would ever see or know existed if it wasn't for that card, that UFC event there. I mean, just spectacularly put together. First time, I believe, in UFC history, at least according to my sources, that every fight ended in a TKO or knockout, technical knockout or knockout. So none of the fights went the full distance, even after starting an hour delayed due to the weather. I mean, it was fantastic. The band was stellar. The fireworks at the end were stellar. The optics were stellar. Like, the whole time I almost forgot it was right next to like a 9-story deep hole in the ground. Like, I almost forgot. And then, you know, it was so immersive that you did forget. So it worked out pretty well. We say, don't forget the College World Series. Is that over now? I feel like it was just like a couple of games. Let's see. Oh, they're not even close to being done. But, you know, if you're a College World Series fan, I hope you are enjoying that. I was too busy with pro sports. I hate pro sports, but it was entertaining. It's like, you can hate on it all you want, but you watched, and we all did this weekend. That is just a fact. I mean, there's no way around it. You can hate on it all you wanted to, but you still watched. And I'm a victim. We all are, probably. We probably all are. And then, the funniest moment of the event, you have Josh Hokett, when he is given the mic by Joe Rogan, just calls out Michelle Obama is a man with the White House in the background. And it was about the funniest moment possibly I've ever seen on a UFC show, card, whatever. Absolutely hysterical. You also had Sean Strickland get arrested for attempting to attend. Got like a public nuisance charge in DC. I mean, what a weekend. What a weekend for sports. It felt good. It felt good. It was like a distraction from everything that was going on. And then everything that was going on seemingly could be solved pretty soon. So that's always good. Could be solved with this peace deal. And the sports were just the spectacle surrounding it. Let's see. Is there anything else? There is a quote. I want to see if I can find it. Let's see. And I think we'll use that, the tie, if I can find it, we'll use it to tie into the good news, sorry. I'll just paraphrase it. So, a defenseman for the Carolina Hurricanes, I believe earlier this year, was talking about converting one of his teammates to Christianity and how he saw that as more important than winning the Stanley Cup. He said something along the lines of, even if I just convert one of my teammates to Christianity, I feel that is, I think he said something along the lines of more impressive, more powerful to me than winning the Stanley Cup. Well, you did both this year, so I just want to say congratulations to Jaccob Slavin and the rest of the Hurricanes. It was awesome watching you guys this year. Keep it going. Keep it going. That is the last 3 years where the Stanley Cup will remain in the South. So I hope you enjoy that, Canadians. To all the Canadians watching, hockey is a Southern sport now. May suck. May take some while to get used to. But it is now officially a Southern sport. The Cane Federates, as they call them. But I think that's all we really have for today. Like I said at the beginning, stick around because we've got a slight update to programming here at the end. But I want to say make sure you guys are dropping a like, following on YouTube, following on Rumble, following on Kick, subscribing on YouTube, turning on notifications. You'll understand why that will be useful to you at the end today. But yeah, thank you guys for stopping by, hanging out. But we're going to hop into the good news. We've done this one before, but I figured we should dive back into it once more. And today's verses is John chapter 3, verses 16 through 21. It reads, "For God so loved the world that he gave his one and only Son, that whoever believes in him shall not perish, but have eternal life. For God did not send his Son into the world to condemn the world, but to save the world through him. Whoever believes in him is not condemned, but whoever does not believe stands condemned already, because he has not believed in the name of God's one and only Son. This is the verdict. Light has come into the world, but men love darkness instead of light, because their deeds were evil. Everyone who does evil hates the light and will not come into the light for fear that his deeds will be exposed. But whoever lives by the truth comes into the light, so that it may be seen plainly that what he has done has been done through God." This is such an important passage to understand, to realize. But for God so loved the world that he gave his one and only Son, that whoever believes in him shall not perish but have eternal life. This is the only way to heaven in our world of sin, is to believe in Jesus, that he can cleanse your sins. And then through this you can be saved. You have the chance for an eternal life with God. But without it, you're doomed. You're doomed to your sin. I think another interesting part of this is that it's very true. People who do evil love to hide in the dark. They're afraid that when they come into the light, that the sin they've been living in will be exposed. But the graciousness of God is that the graciousness of Jesus, who gave his life for us, as he cleanses us of that. We get a second chance at this life through him. And then from there, when you're in the light, everyone can see how God has worked through you. It says, "But whoever lives by the truth comes into the light, so that it may be seen plainly that what he has done has been done through God." Everything that we do is through God. I bring you back to the Jacob Slavin example. Last night he said, the glory is to God after winning the Stanley Cup. And that's what it all boils down to, is God has put us in these situations, allowed us to do so many things that we thought were never imaginable, whether it be never imaginable 5 minutes ago or never imaginable when you were 2 years old watching the TV thinking, I'd really like to win a championship one day. And God puts in the motion where you should be, whether it be praising him on the national championship stage, much like we saw with Jacob Slavin, like we saw with, I forget his name, but the Indiana quarterback who did the same thing after winning the national championship in football. They thanked God for their position. And I do that every day on this show, is I thank God for giving me the ability to do this for so long. Speaking through me, working through me, and hopefully helping others. But everything that we do is by the grace of God, whether it be winning a national championship, a world championship, whether it be having a family, whether it be a new promotion, whatever it is, it's by the grace of God that these things occur for us. Because he is a gracious God, and he loves us, and he gives us so many opportunities to grow his kingdom. And it's up to you what you do with that. When God rewards you, do you give grace back to him, or do you use it as pride, a point of pride of yourself? And you should give thanks back to the Lord, who is gracious enough to give us these opportunities, much like he has for me. But yeah, that's all we have for today. Pretty slow weekend, aside from the peace deal and all the sports you could ask for. It was truly the community sampler. But yeah, I guess they had to wrap up the other championships to let everybody focus on the fact that the United States is winning the World Cup this year. We're bringing peace through football, or whatever the advertisement was that was running along the boards of the first game against Paraguay. It says like, football unites the world or something like that. It's like, we're going to unite the world under an American World Cup. Everybody needs to focus on it, though. But yeah, that was the weekend. Peace deal apparently Friday, and then soccer, basketball, hockey, UFC, you name it. America. But yeah, I think that's all we have for today. So I have a little bit of a sad programming note. I don't know if it's sad. I don't know what the proper term is. But I think at least in the short term, am going to have to focus a little bit more on this new job I've been offered. At least in the short term. There will still be shows. They may not be every single day anymore. There will still be one, maybe one or two a week when I do find more time. I wanted to come on here today, make sure everybody knew what would be going on, first of all. I still do have the guest episode planned for later in this week, so still plan on that for probably this weekend if I can get it edited in time before work starts up this weekend. But I need to realign my focus for at least a little bit. Now, does that mean the channel's getting deleted? Probably not. Does it mean that there won't be as many episodes and I'll focus in a little bit more when I do need to go live or do want to? Probably. It means maybe one or two episodes a week, whether those be solo or guest episodes. I'm going to try and do more guest episode focused because I think those are slightly more enjoyable, maybe. But I just need to realign focus for the next indefinite period, we'll say, because I have a great opportunity in front of me that I never thought would have existed when I started doing this. So I'm going to work on that for a little bit, and then when I get a little bit more into stride with things on that front, maybe we come back and get back up to 3 or 4 a week, maybe. But until then, like I said, maybe 1 or 2. So you'll want to turn on notifications. So when I do actually decide, it'll probably be the day of. I'll be like, hey, we might as well hop on and talk about this. Have notifications on so you'll know. But I'm not going to be able to keep doing this every single evening because a lot of the evenings I will be working. So there's that. Is there anything else I need to talk about in regards to the partial summer hiatus? That's what we're calling it. I'm okay with that. I'm alright with that. But yeah, I'm going to still continue to try and do guest episodes, mainly focus on those. I'll still have one planned for the record later this week, which I still will be doing. It's just this format takes too much time out of the day and cuts into likely when I'll be having to work now. So, yeah. The glories of going remote, guys. The glories. I don't know that there are any. But yeah, I think that's it. I just wanted to let you guys know. It may not be as consistent as it once was, but things have changed in my life. The Lord has opened up new opportunities for me, and I'd be a fool not to take advantage of those and see where it leads me. So yeah, I don't know when I'll be back. I really don't. It could be this weekend, and it probably won't even be at the same times anymore. It'll just be random times throughout the day. Probably not any mornings, but maybe, 9 o'clock rolls around. It's like, oh, I've been building this together over the evening. Have a day off, then we'll be live. But 4:45 every day just seemingly isn't going to work out for the time being. So if that disappoints anybody, I'm sorry I disappointed you. But things happen. Things happen. Got to get out there and enjoy and bask in the upcoming white boy summer. There have been so many developments. I've got to get to the World Cup. I'm kidding. There's no way I can afford that. It'd be cool though. If anybody would like to make a last minute multi-$1,000 donation to the World Cup fund, I'll make a video there. And I'm thinking also, I'll still make videos, but they won't be as long form as these typically are. Maybe they'll be short little 10-minute clip type videos. Maybe it'll be I hop on, we hang out for a little bit, and then get off. I mean, I don't really know where it'll go from here, but it doesn't mean I am completely leaving. It's just things have got to change for the short term, and we'll see where it goes from there. But if it is a little bit until you guys see me again, once again, I really appreciate everybody who has made this possible. You guys that come in every day, who are liking the videos, subscribers, followers, depending on your platform, followers and subscribers on multiple platforms. I really appreciate all you guys. The support I get every day. I mean, it's unfortunate. It's right when more and more people are starting to show up every single day. But that is the timing. That is just the timing I have been dealt. And I will attempt to not let you all down either. I should be back more often than not. But it's not going to be as often as used to. Yeah. Let's see, did I miss any comments? Nope. Well, I think we'll log off now for maybe a little while. Yeah. I don't know when I'll be back. Could be Saturday evening, could be Friday morning. Who even knows? Who even knows at this point? Maybe next week, maybe the week after. I really don't know. But I've got a lot of work to get done these next couple of days, so I'm going to be focused on that, and then after that we'll just see where this leads. Whether it be podcast style content or maybe even more vlog style stuff from work. I really don't even know. We'll see where it goes. This channel's never been headed in strictly one direction. It's gone through all kinds of stuff. From Call of Duty to Fortnite to Valorant to a news podcast. You never know where this thing's going to go next. I might be wearing a live cam changing tires next. You never really know. You really never know. But I appreciate you all that have stuck around for all these episodes. I really do. But yeah, I don't know when I'll see you guys next, but to my people on the East Coast, I hope you get home safe. To my people further west, I hope you finish up your workday strong and get home safe as well. I hope everybody is enjoying everything. Stay focused on the news. Keep your eye out. Lots of fishy things are going on these days. Focus on the Lord. And I'll see you whenever I see you. Yeah. We don't know when the next episode will be, but there will probably be more. So turn on your notifications. And I'll see you when I see you.